All right, so I guess World of Warcraft is doing their pre-patch downtime, which looks like they're to be down until like another 4 hours probably. I didn't know if I was going to play World of Warcraft too much in pre-patch or even in Burning Crusade. I'm sure I will play it in Burning Crusade. It's one of those things where if I really want to play Burning Crusade and actually really get into it, I'm going to have to spend so much time in it. Because I just there's characters I want to play, and I know I'd have to put in a serious amount of time, and I just don't think I want to do that. So I think I'm gonna try to. I don't know, but I'd like to get my warrior to level 60 and just play my warrior in BC, and maybe my hunter. I really don't need to play a rogue in TBC, although I love rogues, and I really don't want to play my priest in TB. Oh, I. It's always good to have the priest in your back pocket because what happens if you're playing primarily PvP, you're gonna get yourself you're gonna find battlegrounds, you're gonna find arenas where you're just getting killed. You're getting killed a lot, you're getting killed, and you're just gonna be sitting there wishing you had a healer. And if you don't have a healer, your next best option is to play a healer. So it's always good to have a healer in your back pocket. But anyways, yeah, I guess we're all waiting for the pre-patch. I don't know what I'm gonna do on the pre-patch. I haven't even decided what I'm gonna do in the pre-patch. Um, I'm still thinking about it. Hold on one second, I'm just playing around with some music. I I don't know if I want to level up a new character. I really don't feel like I do. I mean, Draenei and all that. It's like, what's the point? It's like I don't want to play a shaman. Every time I try to play a shaman, I hate it. The only thing I could do would be a mage, and I just don't know if I want to do that. The biggest reason for doing that is kind of like what Phil always says. It'd be, to play something completely new and different might reinvigorate me and make me more excited about playing WoW again. If I play something completely different like a shaman, something that I haven't done 1,000 times. So that's kind of the stance I would take on why I would level up, like perhaps a shaman starting in the pre-patch. So maybe I'll do like a shaman for a few quests and just see if I'm enjoying it. But I do really want to play a warrior in the Burning Crusade and a hunter. I think those two are the classes I'm wanting to play the most in TBC. So yeah, so I thought maybe I'd jump on and level my warrior a little bit tonight, but I can't do that because pre-patch is all the servers are down. So anyways, I wanted to talk about just, I kind of want to start doing some streams where I just talk about MMOs in general. I think that's one thing, you guys know me. I love MMOs and I love talking about them. I love thinking about creating my own MMO and thinking about kind of like what makes an MMO good. What are the concepts? Where have MMOs? There's been a lot of videos lately talking about like kind of like the history of MMOs. Even MMO Byte, I think, it did a video on kind of like where MMOs were and where they came from and where they are now. And Kira TV, even though I don't really like him that much, he did a video where he was talking. He actually made a really good point in one of his videos that I watched the other day. And what he was talking about is a really good point. He was talking about Amazon's New World and what MMOs are doing today, and it didn't actually occur to me. It didn't actually strike me this way, and I don't know why I didn't think of it. I guess I'm just as dumb as everybody else, but which I'm not. But honestly, when I play games, I don't really try to get too much into it. I don't try to overthink it. And I think the people that figure these things out are people that really are maybe a little bit more immersed into the games than even I am. Because I play them mostly to de-stress from work and to kind of take my mind off of real life. It's like a relaxing thing for me. It's like coming home and playing, guitar or whatever people do to relax, watching TV. I mean, for me, I don't really watch a lot of TV, so I come home and I play MMOs. But what Kira had brought up, which is a really, really, really good point, and I had seen games do it. Obviously, when people create new games today, like when they create MMOs in today's world, they create them and they're kind of limited. They're kind of gimped, right? They're like MMOs that don't have all the systems that you might want. And so what they do is they create these MMOs, and then they don't give you like maybe a lot of mounts, or they don't give you ways for fast travel, or they don't give you pets, in game, and maybe that loot items for you. But what they do is they roll the game out, and then all of a sudden they put a cash shop in there, and in the cash shop you can buy a pet, just like Black Desert. Play Black Desert, you can buy a pet in Black Desert. You can buy a pet that can pick up loot items. You can buy a pet that increases your life skill gain. You can buy a pet that increases your luck, your chance to loot, maybe better gear, better items when you loot. And there's just all these little things, but you can buy it from the cash shop. And there's no reason that Black Desert has to do that. I mean, they could just make it something in the game that you could get. But of course, they don't want to do that. They want to make it something that you have to pay money for so they can make money. But what New World did, which is just brilliant, is they reduced the, what was it? It was like some sort of like gathering speed or some sort of like they basically in one of their patch notes they said we're going to reduce the amount of bonus rest experience you get when you're not logged in or something like that. And then like 6 months later, they introduced into the cash shop an item that would like reduce the negative effects of your losing that rest experience, or it would increase your rest experience. So it's basically what they did was they created a void, or they put something into the game that negatively impact you, and then 6 months down the line, they put something in the cash shop that would fix that negative impact. So basically, they purposely took something away from you. I mean, we don't know this 100%, but they purposely took something away from you, and then they gave you an ability to pay money to get it back. And I hadn't really thought about MMOs doing that. I mean, I thought about it in other ways where like they have systems in place, like I said, with pets and mounts and fast travel and character boosts and all those types of things. But I never thought about something so small as like, oh, we're just gonna take something away. Now this is funny because the game hasn't even really come out yet. New World hasn't really come out, although there's been lots of closed betas and alphas, and there's been. I mean, I've played the game years ago, so people have had access to play New World for a very long time. So lots of things have been put into the game and lots of things have been changed. And so it's really kind of hilarious. But if you look at today's market on MMOs, it revolves around microtransactions a lot more than I think any of us really want them to. It's just really sad. And they're getting us to basically play these games. And if you look at games like Shadowlands, or you look at a game like even like Black Desert, or you look at a game like Swords of Legends Online, which is I'm going to be playing the beta of that this coming Friday, right? These games they let you level up pretty quickly to max level, but then what they do is they put in kind of daily gated content that requires you to just log in, do these quests, or do certain events, for that day, and then you can't do any more until the next day. Well, that just keeps you trying to come back for more, and it's a really sad system. I think I don't really like those types of systems, but it's just this kind of gated content. They're trying to keep you logging in like every day, right? And then they're does Elder Scrolls Online do that? Applebee, I don't know if they do that. I don't play Elder Scrolls Online that much. I've only played it I played about 8 times, a grand total of maybe 30 hours of gameplay maybe. But they want to keep you logging in fairly frequently, especially games where you're not paying a monthly fee, right? I mean, if you're not paying a monthly... Well, actually, if you're not paying a monthly fee and you just pay, like, a purchase price to get the game, they have to come up with some other ways to make money. Yeah, so the daily reward... Yeah, Guild Wars 2 does that, too, where you log in, you get, like, a daily reward. But to stay relevant, in games like Black Desert, if you want to stay relevant, like, level-wise, if you want to keep up to the same level as the other players and you want to be like relevant PvP-wise at the top of the ladders, you pretty much have to play consistently. And you have to purchase like certain things off the cash shop that give you a slight advantage. There might be potions, or there might be a gear that gives you a slight, increase to experience gained, or experience from monsters, or experience from whatever, And, New World's, it's so funny, like there was that little tiff between Stephen Sharif from Ashes of Creation versus New World, where he said, this has just happened like yesterday, or the day before yesterday, where he put a post out there like making fun of New World because New World said they were going to have items. They weren't going to put anything in the cash shop that was pay to win, but they were going to have like boosts or things that would make quality of life better for players, like as far as like progression easier. So, take that for what it's worth, but it sounds like they're putting in character boosts or putting in stuff that's giving you an XP boost. Well, that would be obviously a leg up, right? Well, the funny part was Steven from Ashes of Creation had put in their packages, right? If you paid this is what they used to have. Although I checked their packages today and I couldn't find it today. Excuse me. But it was definitely in there previously. And what I mean is, it used to be like in Ashes of Creation, if you bought like the $150 package, or any package more expensive than that going on up, right? They gave you 1 day pre-launch. You know how they have like the pre-launch or the early bird, you know what I mean? Like where you pay so much money and you get into the game launches for you earlier than other people who haven't paid $150. So you actually get to play the game 24 hours before other people do. Well, that's the same thing. That's a character boost. That's letting people go into the game and like in advance, right? So that's pay to progress, right? So Steven Sharif from Ashes of Creation, I've never liked this guy, by the way. He's the same guy who tried to initially, when he started putting out the packages for Ashes of Creation, tried to do like a pyramid scheme. You guys can Google that. Initially, he was trying to do like a pyramid scheme, which was some real BS. He's also the guy who has had some pretty rude and snide comments to the community in the past. And he's also the same guy who that in their Discord server bans people if you make any kind of snide remarks about the game or you say anything kind of negative. This was early on. I don't think I think he's been pulled away from that. I don't think but when the game first came out, was really new, and they first had their Discord, they were really like, they didn't take criticism very well, they really didn't. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ashes of Creation or the guy Steven Sharif. I think he's kind of, and then the fact that he even said about New World that I'm kind of impressed that you like used some of my systems or took inspiration from me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So if you guys haven't seen the video on that, you actually should check it out. But actually I wonder if I can find the quote. Well, he apologized for it, right? Of course, that can't be reached. Here it is. Okay, here's what he said. So this is the founder of the studio behind Ashes of Creation, right? He's the creator, the founder. He said, I really enjoyed how it was stated that they would include quality of life items items like level boosts and trade skill boosts, but nothing that affects competitive aspect of the game. I like, and I don't know why he writes like a kid. Why you do this, Amazon? I was flattered when they drew inspiration from some of my designs. First of all, what's he talking about? Steven was flattered by that New World took inspiration from some of his designs. That sounds like a very narcissistic thing to say to me. Why would you say that? You are like the founder of your company. You're making a game, Ashes of Creation. Why would you take little snide remarks towards New World? It's kind of stupid. And then he goes, but honestly, who the fuck made this decision? Who TF made this decision? I just want some new blood in the genre, for fuck's sake. I mean, this is kind of really rude and snide, and why would he even, it's just stupid. Why would he even say all this shit? So, like I said, I never liked this guy, even from the beginning. I never liked this guy too much when he did the pyramid scheme and some of the shit he was trying to pull. And the fact that if you go there, even early on, they were selling like these pre-launch packages that were just ridiculously expensive. Let's say you want to go fund Ashes of Creation, right? Okay, the cheapest pack right now is $75, which is pretty expensive, right? But hey, you can go up and spend $500. Who wants to spend $500 to ensure that they get into the alpha one of a video? I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to blow $500 on a game that I don't even know if it's any good yet. I mean, we don't even know if this game's going to be any good. So yeah, whatever. Ashes of Creation, and there's so much hype around this game. Like it's gonna be the game, and even like Lazy PM is always hyping this game. Like, I think this game's really gonna be good, and I'm like, no, it's not. Ashes of Creation's not gonna be that good. There's nothing that they've shown in their videos that looks any better than a lot of other games that are already out there. The only thing they've said about their game that's even remotely new is kind of like a point control system, right? A node, like where the certain regions of the world are going to evolve. Well, World of Warcraft does that, right? I mean, even in Shadowlands. What was it Shadowlands? It was the Burning Legion. Or not the Burning Legion, which one was it? Oh, I can't remember. It was one of their expansions where basically you could promote the zone by doing different things outside of the zone, by like gathering resources and doing different quests. And that helped evolve the PvP zone. It's the same type of thing. But in Ashes of Creation, they have these points where you can evolve like a village into a city, into a keep or a castle or whatever. but it's all point control. It's all like kind of like PvP. So it's going to promote a bunch of basically what you're going to get is you're going to get a bunch of people that are hardcore, right? Tryhards. They're going to play nonstop every day, and they're going to create guilds. They're going to be like fuck you up your ass. They're going to call their guild, right, or something stupid ass because they're dumb, and they're going to run around ganking everybody in that zone, trying to control that node, and be like we're the best. It's just going to promote this very toxic, environment, right? It really will. So I don't anticipate that Ashes of Creation is going to be anything that's going to be something. I mean, if you like that type of play style, if you like playing a very toxic PvP, hardcore PvP game where you're just going around ganking everybody, then you might enjoy it. What would you like to see? You'd like to see in MMOs like Final 13 Online and Elder Scrolls, like their flying mounts. Why are you saying you'd like to see flying mounts like Final Fantasy 14? Because I haven't played Final Fantasy 14 very much, and I don't have any flying mounts, and I haven't played Elder Scrolls that much either. So are you saying there's flying mounts in those games? Because I'm not even aware if there are flying mounts in those games. Maybe there are. I haven't played either one that much. But there's been. I mean, just talking about MMOs, like today's marketplace for MMOs is so bad. Like everybody's trying to put out these games, and they're trying to put out games in a way that they're trying to like get your money, right? It's not like a subscription usually. It's usually the cash shop. And it's usually like stuff that they're trying to get people just to keep sinking money into the game. And there's really not like when I was playing Alien, the node quest was so abusive towards the players. The game's got really good combat, right? But the story's basically really boring and weak. And the quest system is so bad. It's like the worst questing system. So basically, you're going along the main story quest, and then you hit like, "Hey, what's up, Jocelyn?" Is it even live though? Last time I tried to go in, Jocelyn, I couldn't even log in. Here, let's check it out. Let's take a look. I don't even know how to get out here. Quit. I don't know how much I'm going to play Jocelyn on WoW, to be honest. I'm so mad at Blizzard as a company, But in talking about Elion, like their questing was like, basically you'd go to a different like hub area, and there would just be one NPC, and that one NPC would have all the quests, right? I can't get in. See, I can't even get in, Jocelyn. No servers available. Now that's Burning Crusade Classic. Now, if I try to go into World of Warcraft Classic, I don't think I can get into this either. Damn it, Jocelyn. I thought you were serious. Yeah, I just tried to get in the servers, and it looks like they're not going to be up until like 1 a.m. or something. So I've been pretty good. I've been burned out on World of Warcraft, to be honest. And like I said, the way Blizzard's handled the game, and I just am not really super interested in playing WoW that much. I want something new. I want something new, I mean, I want something new, I'm sick of, and the way Blizzard's just turning it into what's really funny with Blizzard? Here's what's really funny with Blizzard. They didn't think Classic WoW was going to be a big success. They obviously didn't think Classic WoW was going to be a big deal. When they first started saying that they were going to release Classic WoW, I pushed for the packages, right? I said, man, you're putting out Classic WoW. You're not going to charge any money for it. You're just going to say if you've got an active subscription, you can play it. I'm like, but instead of doing that, why don't you re-release the deluxe editions or the ultimate, whatever they were called back in the original game, re-release like a deluxe edition of Classic, of World of Warcraft Classic, with like a really cool like art book, or with like a really cool like maybe some posters, maybe some t-shirts, just some swag, right? Like some t-shirts, some posters. Well, I would really love to get an art book on Classic World of Warcraft, and maybe some other stuff. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe some coffee mugs, maybe something. Just throw some shit in there, because people would have bought it. I mean, how cool would it have been? I would have loved to have like a Classic World of Warcraft art book with concept art in it to throw on my my table over here in the living room. You know what I mean? And people, I think, would have bought that, and they didn't. They just did not think that Classic World of Warcraft was going to have that many players. They really didn't. And you could tell because how many servers did they have? They had like what, like 30 servers or something? They had to almost triple that. How many servers do they have now for Classic WoW? They had to at least double, almost triple the amount of servers, right? I've actually got the Burning Crusade. What was it called? The Burning Crusade. I've got the Burning Crusade art book. What did it come with? I think it was, let's see, Burning Crusade art book. I've got the book. So I don't remember what it came with. So like this book here, I've got this, the art. So this came with the, I think it was the deluxe edition. It's actually really cool, you know. Art book, which edition did it come with? I can't remember what it was called. It was I guess the collector's edition. Yeah, so I've got this, right? Like when a Burning Crusade came out, I bought the collector's edition, which I believe was $75 back in 2000, what was it, 2007, 2008? So when they came out with Classic WoW, I was like, man, you could make so much money, Blizzard. If you want to make money, put out a collector's edition. Put out a World of Warcraft collector's edition with an art book. Maybe put a T-shirt in there. Maybe put one of those cool like rugs, like those like throws, like a throw that's got like, you know, and you could pick whether you wanted the one that had the Horde or the Alliance on it, the Alliance emblem on it. And if you guys haven't seen that, they have those in the, you know, they have those like. Alliance. You know, they have these blankets, right? And they're pretty cool. I mean, hell, why not? You know, I can throw this on my couch. My cats could lay on it, right? You know, that was what I was saying. When they came out with Classic World of Warcraft, why not? You know, why not put out like a collector's edition? They could have done that and made a ton of money, and they chose not to because they didn't think Classic World of Warcraft was going to be that big of a deal. But now Burning Crusade's coming out. They saw how big Classic was, and look what they're doing. They're trying to make all this money. They're like, oh, we're going to charge $35 for a character copy function. We're going to give you, pay like $80 and get like an in-game mount, you know, like a Warp Stalker mount, you know. And they're doing all this stuff to try to basically capitalize. You know, we're going to have a Dark Portal pass that you can buy and take a character from 1 all the way to level, you know, 58. So you can take them right through the Dark Portal and start, you know, leveling. You have a little area rug. I don't have a ton of WoW stuff. I've got some WoW pins. I've got like a pin for each class. I've got like a little, and they're still stuck on the you know, the little backing that they come on. Let's see. And I used to have some WoW t-shirts. I had an Overwatch Widowmaker hoodie, which got stolen by the way, but it was a super cool, you know, hoodie. I've got these. I have a lot of these pins here. I used to have I had the Blizzard Widowmaker hoodie, which was so cool, dude. Blizzard Widowmaker hoodie. Someone stole it. Let's see if I can find it. No, it wasn't any of these. It might have been this one. I don't know if it was. Yeah, I think it was this one, but mine was black with purple or something. But the coolest hoodie I had was Hellblade. And it got stolen. Ooh, they still have it on Etsy. Do they have the front? I had this one similar to this, but it was actually way better, and it came all the way from England because it was from Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory is a British company, so they don't even make the hoodie anymore. So I can't even replace it. So it's my own fault. I was at a restaurant having a beer and eating some seafood, and I left it on the back of a chair. And I remember I left it, and I got in my car and I drove away, and I noticed right away it was gone. Within 5 or 10 minutes I drove back, so I was only gone from like this bar for like maybe 25 minutes, and someone stole my hoodie. I was so pissed off. I was not happy. Yeah, Etsy's pretty good. I actually might put up an Etsy. Actually, I'm probably going to put up an Etsy shop. I have a lot of like crystals. Like I have a lot of crystals, actually. Really, I probably have about $4,000 worth of, of like stuff that I've collected like my whole life. You know, I used to be into crystals when I was a little kid, but I've collected them for a long time. I have a lot of stuff. I have comic books and crystals and all kinds of different things. Guitars. I have probably got over a dozen guitars, man. I did not nerd rage, but I wasn't happy. I have not had good luck with hoodies, right? I've lost 3 hoodies. So, but it's my own fault. Like 2 of my left, and then the other one just someone stole it off. I was at a conference or something, and someone literally stole it off of a chair. I mean, I went up to get a drink or something, and or went somewhere and came back a few minutes later and it was gone. And some nerd stole it probably. You collect sports cars. But yeah, it was just this stream is just me chatting about MMOs and like the state of MMOs and kind of where I think they are right now, and they're in such a bad place. And you start thinking about what's wrong with MMOs in today's world, and you don't have to look very far. You look at Amazon's New World, you look at Shadowlands, you look at the Burning Crusade. It's all the monetization. It's all them trying to make money. They don't care about you as a gamer anymore, right? And one of the coolest things, and the thing is, like, I don't know if you guys have seen. Oh, I actually saved it. I want to show you guys this. This is really cool, actually. So, let's take this. So this is pretty cool. So Pantheon Rise of the Fallen released their world map, like their updated world map for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. I think within the last few days. Now this is the original map. This is the prototype map. That was, I don't know when they put this one out. It was probably, we're talking like maybe 2014 or earlier. So this was like one of the earliest versions of the world map of the world of Terminus, which is in Pantheon's Rise of the Fallen. Yeah, no, Jocelyn, I've looked for games like that. Like, I would love to get an open world. The thing is, I do like playing with other players. I like there being real people in the game that I can talk to. So it's hard. Like, I love Skyrim. I love Skyrim. It's a great game. And when it first came out, I played it a lot. And I still play it every once in a while. But it's not the same because there's not real people in the game. I mean, it's always nice to have real people to play with, And it's just hard in today's world because of the way these games are. Like, World of Warcraft Classic was ruined for me. Ooh, what's going on here? I guess when you sit at the Final Fantasy XIV screen long enough, it goes into the cinematic. Which I didn't know it did that, so... I don't play a lot of Final Fantasy XIV. I've played it only a little bit. It's kind of a neat little cinematic we got going on here, though. It's got me intrigued. I don't even remember this cinematic. Is this like the main one? I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. Anyways, I think it is. So, but anyways, yeah, I mean, like I said, I like playing games, like playing fantasy role-playing games where there's other people, right? But yeah, WoW, perfect. You nailed it. You nailed it right on the head, Jocelyn. WoW Classic for me was completely ruined. Absolutely, completely ruined by the boosting culture and by bots and by gold sellers. Like, you cannot... It has made playing the game the way it was meant to be played feel like it's devalued. Like, the reason I have a hard time playing World of Warcraft right now is because I log in and I've got like a level 41 hunter. I've got like a level 21 warrior. I have a level 39 rogue. I've got like a level 32 druid. I have a level 40 priest. And I would love to level each of those characters to 60, but it's like I don't even want to do it. Like, there's effort involved in getting those characters to 60. I mean, there's time I have to spend, but there's other people in the game that aren't doing that. They're just going into dungeons and paying people gold to run them through dungeons. I mean, there's people that are going from like level 30 to level 60 in like 3 days. And it's not like they're doing anything. They're not doing any quests. They're just sitting in dungeons while people are boosting them through them, right? And it's completely devalued the game to the point where I don't even want to play. It's like, and then all the gold sellers, like, you can't even hardly go to the auction house and buy stuff because the prices are so high because everybody's buying so much gold and sinking so much gold into the economy that everything costs so much money. And a perfect example of that was the Skullflame Shield, right? Like, I played on a private server, and the Skullflame Shield on the private server I was on, I don't know if it was Elysium or, one of those private servers, right? It was like around 300 gold. The first time I saw Skullflame Shield in the auction house, it was like 300 gold. And it got up to 400. The highest I ever saw it was around maybe 500 gold. on Elysium or Lights Hope or Northdale or even Kronos, any of those private servers. You know, the highest I saw it was around 500 gold, which at the time I thought, man, that's a lot of gold, right? Now you go into Classic WoW, and go into the auction house and find a Skullflame Shield. You'll see them anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 gold. That's insane. Like, trying to make that much gold without actually buying gold is actually not easy. It's actually not that easy to make 2,000 gold and just throw it away on one item. That's a lot of money. You know, back in the original game, back in the original vanilla WoW, I was the first person on my server to get Black Dragon Scale boots, and I put them in the auction house, and I put them in the auction house for an amount of gold that was like so high that I knew no one could afford it. So this is back in like 2006, right? 2006, I put Black Dragon Scale boots in the auction house on Doomhammer for 400 gold because I knew nobody had enough. Nobody would want to spend that much gold on them, right? No, 400 gold. Today, people would have laughed and just would have bought them. Oh, 400 gold, shit, I'll take that, right? They would have bought them. They probably go for like 3,000 gold now. But back then, nobody had that kind of gold. People didn't know how to abuse mechanics. People weren't buying gold. You know what I mean? So the game is just at a point now where and to me, it's hardly worth playing anymore. You know, and I look at all the videos on Burning Crusade and like how to get to 70, and it's all about the same type of thing. How can I boost my character to 70 as fast as possible? And it's all about cleaves and running dungeons with certain groups and just running dungeons over and over and over again until you're 70. You know, it's not really going through the stories. It's not doing the quests. It's just, that's not the way the games are meant to be played. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the nostalgia kind of was really ruined. I mean, it was fun. It was fun for a few weeks, maybe even a few months, and then it just kind of, you know, now it's at a state now where it's just really awful. But, you know, getting back to, you know, the more I look at it, and I've been really paying attention to MMOs a lot the past like 3 years. Like, what I mean by that is I've been watching all the videos and all the content creators' comments on MMOs, and I've also been trying to participate in the closed betas and the betas of most of the biggest games that are coming out, right? I've played them all. I played Justice Online. I played Swords of Legends Online, the Chinese version, before it even came over here. You know, and you know, I've played Elion, and you know, I've pretty much played most of all the big ones, and they're all pretty much the same. They all have major serious issues. None of them are really solid games. There's nothing really groundbreaking about them. That's why when I look at Ashes of Creation and all the hype around that, I don't see anything groundbreaking about Ashes of Creation. I really don't. Now, I haven't done enough research on Ashes of Creation, really. So, but there are people that say if you like Lineage, you'd like Ashes of Creation, which that surprises me because my first MMO was Lineage 2, and Lineage 2 is a very, very much a grind fest. It's also hard to craft stuff because you require other players. You can't go gather the resources and get the stuff you need to craft something. Like you could be like blacksmith, but you can't get the iron to make the armor. So it always requires you to either have an alt to do it or to know other people in the game that can supply you with the materials. You're either a material gatherer or you're a crafter. You know, you can't do both. With most MMOs, you can do both. So that's kind of unique to Lineage. But I don't know. I got to do a little bit more research on Ashes. But I've watched tons of the videos, you know, the streams on Ashes, and I watched about 3 videos yesterday from people because they've released the verbal NDA on Ashes of Creation, right? And they've released so people can talk about the alpha. The people that played the alpha right now in the last couple of weeks, they can talk about it. They just can't show footage of it. And everything I've listened to, there's nothing in the alpha. Now, of course, they say it's super early, you know, but from what I've heard, there's nothing in the game that's really groundbreaking. But everybody's like, well, it's just an alpha. I'm like, yeah, it's just an alpha, but when you get to the alpha, you should still have the core systems in place. Meaning you should still have the questing systems in place. You should still have, you know, the combat in place, the character movement, the NPC interactions should all be there. And those are the core systems, right? And there's nothing about the core systems that's any different or any better than any other MMO that's come out in the past, you know, 12 years probably, right? There's nothing that I see in that game that's really groundbreaking, you know? So it's going to be interesting to see. But getting back to this picture of this map, so this is like the early version of the Pantheon Rise of Fallen, the Terminus. Now, what's really cool is they just released the updated map, like within the last couple of days. This is the updated map. Look how different it is. You can't even like here's like this is King's Reach on the right. This is King's Reach, and you'll see the Silent Plains here in the middle. This map here is just King's Reach. Notice the silent plains in the middle. This is just King's Reach, right? So there's going to be multiple continents. I think there's like more than two, but there's two main continents: King's Reach and Rainfall in Pantheon. But this is just King's Reach. You can see this is a pretty large map for an MMO. I think it's pretty large. I'm not a big fan of. I think that it looks like it needs, and I don't know how detailed these maps are, but the zones look a little plain Jane. You know, like this is a pretty flat zone. There isn't a lot going on. Pretty flat. Now you can see there's a lot of zones that are surrounded by cliffs, and that's the easiest way in an MMO to prevent people from getting off of the getting off the map. Basically, it's just by preventing them by putting mountains and stuff that are impassable. But you can see all the locked areas. So what's really cool is they're planning for future expansions already. You see all these gray locked areas are possible new zones to add later down the road when they make expansions for Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Now, Fairthales, you can see there's a lot of elevation going on here. You can see the different various elevations. Baywood's got a little bit of different various elevations. You can also see there's a little mad run here. It just looks like a path that you can travel from the Eastern Plains over here into the Aventur's Pass. You can also see there's a village here. There's a lot of elevation in this zone. Pretty good elevation here. Wild Zen, like I said, is pretty flat. The plains, being a plains, they're going to be flat. South is pretty flat. Baywood's fairly flat. But the map overall looks pretty cool. But I think the most interesting thing about the map is that it's pretty big. That's a pretty big map. And also, all these locked regions for future expansion content. I think that's really cool. So this is I was pretty excited to see the map from Pantheon. But game developers are pretty lazy. But I can tell you right now, the game developers behind Pantheon Rise of the Fallen are not lazy. And it's really the only game. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is the only game that really is trying to be an old school MMO. That's trying to put an MMO out there that requires us to play with each other, to help each other, to work as a group. Almost all of the new MMOs that have come out are friendly to solo players, to solo content, to people. In fact, a lot of people that play MMOs today, that's one of their first questions. Can I solo the content? Will I be able to play solo? What's the best class to solo? These are the most common questions you hear when people start looking at new MMOs that are coming out, right? Like, what class is the best solo class? I see that all the time, But I think we're not going to see, in Pantheon, it's going to be really interesting, how it's going to roll out as far as if they really stick to their guns and make it really difficult and require you to play in groups. I think it could be the best MMO to come out since World of Warcraft first came out. I really do. I think it's going to be the best. I just think that type of group-based content and that type of community, fostering of a community, is going to be something that people have really forgotten all about. And I also think there's a lot of people that have come out and played MMOs who really never played those old school MMOs. They came into World of Warcraft later down the road, or they came into games, even like, Guild Wars 2 you can pretty much solo a lot of Guild Wars 2 too. So there really weren't that many games that have come out in the past, since 2010, in the past, 10 years that require a lot of group content or require you to really get help from other players. And the other thing with specific to Ashes of Creation is the people were talking about, oh, they do it different in Ashes of Creation. Like the quest NPCs don't have like the exclamation mark over their head, right? They don't have like the little symbol over their head denoting them as a quest NPC. The way they do it is their name's in green. And I'm like, well, that's the same thing. They're still obviously a quest NPC because their name is in green. And they're the only ones with their name in green, which denotes them as a person who has a quest. That's the same thing as having an exclamation mark. I am completely against anything that denotes quest, right? To me, an RPG is just that. An MMORPG is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. Role-playing game to me harkens all the way back to Dungeons and Dragons, right? MMOs came about because people were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they wanted to be able to put it into a computer so that they could play together with their friends in some sort of with a visual aid, like a monitor, with pictures, right? And so that was really the first, and of course they went from MUDs, right, to the earliest games like Asheron's Call and, stuff like that. and eventually into like what you're saying, Justin, like EverQuest 1. So you know about, like you said, you know about group, you know about grinding. EverQuest was a very grindy game. Lineage 2 was a very grindy game. Now, what's really interesting about Lineage 2 and EverQuest and Lineage 1 and EverQuest 1 is that the quest systems were very bare bones. Like you it would be like a quest would just be like, "Oh, hey, I want you to find this guy and he's down south somewhere past this building." That's all they would tell you. So you're walking around trying to find him. And in EverQuest 1, and Justin, you probably remember this in EverQuest, and I never played EverQuest 1, but I've watched videos on it and I've talked to other players. But in EverQuest 1, you could only do quests up to a certain point. Then it was all about just, from what I heard, it was all about just grinding mobs. There really weren't a lot of quests in the very beginning of the game. The quests only got you so far. It wasn't like there were quests that you could just do quests all the way to the max level or whatever. It wasn't like that. Now, as far as Final Fantasy, this is the only character I've ever made in Final Fantasy XIV, the only one. So it's rare for me to play an MMO where I've only made one character, right? But I like this character, and I know the game so little, like I don't know Final Fantasy hardly at all, that I just stick with the one character, And what is funny is every time I log into Final Fantasy, it always says it's full, every single time. So you know that Final Fantasy is a pretty popular game because every time I log in, the server's full. Yeah, you could solo for about 6 to 8 levels. Yeah, you were killing like spiders, right? Like spiders or whatever, snakes or something. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the way Lineage 2 was. Lineage 2, like, I leveled solo until about level, I don't know, 15 maybe, and at that point you really started to want to get in groups with people because it just took too long. You can still level solo. I love this artwork, by the way. I want to get a screenshot of this. There we go. I like to save some of that artwork. Now, if you get into... One thing I like about this game, I really like the sound of the rain. It actually sounds really good. It's got a beautiful sound, rain sound. The jumping's kind of weird in Final Fantasy, but the movement feels really good in Final Fantasy, and the game plays very smooth. So, But yeah, this is the only character I've ever played in Final Fantasy. I've done some crafting, but I've played this game so infrequently that I don't really. Every time I play it, I've always forgotten what I've learned from previous. So I always have to reteach myself how to play the game every time I play it. But just like talking about Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, it's a lot of the guys, some of the friends, not really close friends of mine, but people I know I've talked to who've been very involved in Pantheon. They've played the game already. They've played some of the early stuff, and they really liked it. I mean, they really liked it. And it's still very early. But the cool thing about Pantheon is they've been offered money. They've been offered seed money from large companies, and publishers have come up to them and said, "Hey, we'll give you a bunch of money if you let us publish your game." And they've talked to those people, but they haven't liked how those people wanted to publish the game. So they said, "No, we don't want to work with you." So they're being very choosy and picky on who they want, who they let come in and help them, who gives them money. They still want to retain complete freedom over the publishing of the game and the creative, and being able to release the game when they feel it's ready, which is kind of the way Blizzard was initially. When Blizzard first released Warcraft 3 and they first released World of Warcraft, that's the way they were. They were, they were taking creative freedom to be able to push the game off, to delay it, postpone it until it was at a point where they felt it was ready, where the game was good enough. And Pantheon's doing the same thing. I was really concerned with Pantheon where they were going because I saw a lot of flaws in what they were doing. But lately, since they've got this developer to come in and recode the game engine and basically put in all the correct hooks to allow them to easily, add the art assets and to add the textures into the game world very quickly and very in a modular approach. And also they hired a side effects Houdini guy, artist, who's able to help create the terrain and the level design, which is really cool because Houdini is a really phenomenal very impressive tool. I've actually used Houdini, God, probably 30 years ago, believe it or not, or 25 years ago. I don't remember which version it was back then, but Houdini is a really interesting program. It's really powerful. Very difficult program to learn. So they've got a really good side effects Houdini guy who's helping with the level design, and they've got a pretty smart programmer who's helping them, make sure that the architecture of the code is more modular, so they can easily get the assets and the stuff in place quicker. And so that was really encouraging, and that really changed my mind about where they were going from an architecture point of view. I'm still not sure about the combat. I still think the combat still looks a little clunky to me. But I think if they make it such that the abilities have good global cooldowns and that the combat's all tactical and that skills are like there's a thought process behind when you use skills and that they don't have a consistent set rotation. One thing I hate about MMOs is if you just do the same thing over and over again. Like when you're in a raid, like your World of Warcraft or something, and you're just like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with your mage. I hate that. I really hate that. And one of the cool things about Terra early on, when Terra first came out, is if you went into a dungeon in Terra and that first week the game came out, you couldn't just go 1, 2, 3. The bosses were too powerful. They would move around and they would do abilities that would force you to have to move, to dodge, to jump. So it would be like 1, 2, dodge, maybe 3, 2, jump. It was varied. You had to constantly change what you're doing based on whatever the boss was doing. And then to me, that's the best way a boss fight should really go. So, but it's all about the microtransactions now, and pay to win and all that stuff, and I hate that stuff. I mean, I have no problem with microtransactions for cosmetic stuff. I really have no problem with that. So, I got my chocobo. Look at my little mount. I love this mount. He's so cool. Final Fantasy is not the best looking game, but it still looks pretty good. Yeah, yeah, I loved Rift. Rift was a really good game. It just got dated really quick. Excuse me. It got dated really quickly. When it first came out, it was really good, and then it just seemed like after about 5 years, it felt like it started to look a little bit old. And it wasn't as smooth, like movement stuff in Rift wasn't as smooth as like the movement in this game. And the combat, wasn't quite as smooth. There's a lot to be said, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot to be said for how well the game engine feels and how well it plays. I mean, to me, the most important part, and a lot of people disagree with me, but the most important part a lot of times for MMOs really is the world. The world really, to me, is the number one most important thing in MMO. The world has to be engaging. It has to be alive. It has to be, and I roll the game engine, the feeling of the world, and how the game engine feels with the movement of the character through the world, all into that world. I roll that together as one thing. So, how does the game feel when I just log in and I'm moving around, right? And I'm looking at the art and the characters, and look at this. I mean, this game's beautiful. Like when I look at this game, there's a lot of good detail. We've got the rain, we've got some weeds down here, we got this beautiful textured rock that's broken here, and there's some, some erosion coming down into it. We got some more grass over here, some rock. There's a crazy looking like scorpion or weird looking carrion grub mixed with a scorpion, thing. And one thing about Final Fantasy, and I've said it a lot of times, is there's more variations of monsters in Final Fantasy than any game I've ever seen. Now, they do create a lot of their monsters by just mixing two different types of things together. Like I said, there's like a scorpion that looks like a grub mixed with a scorpion, and you'll see something that's like maybe a tiger mixed with a wolf or something. But there's so much variety in the creatures you see in this game. It's more than any other game I've ever played. But just walking around the games is nice. Now, it is a little bit on rails, meaning like if you go into the map here, it's very narrow. So like if you look at me, where am I at? I'm down here, right down here. You can see that, look at the width here. It's very narrow, So it doesn't have that open world feel to it. See how the areas are pretty narrow, even like you have to get to like a fairly large area as this, and that just going from here to here is not a very big distance. So that's one thing about Final Fantasy that's not really good. You're feeling like you're funneled through, pathways and walkways and stuff, I'm so trying to remember how to play the game. It's been so long. There's such a long. The thing I hate most about the combat in Final Fantasy is the global cooldown is so long. It's really long. But I love like I said, the characters move really well and it feels smooth. And I just want to get I always want to get my character to a higher level because I keep hearing that when the Final Fantasy, when your character gets higher in level, the combat starts to feel a little better. There are certain skills, like if you look at my hotbar down here at the bottom, and let me try to find some higher level creatures. Here, let's see if we can get over here. Looks like there's some higher level monsters, like level 31, whereas these guys over here are only like level 12. I'm level 28 or 29 or something. Now there is a fate here, so I can like kind of lower my ability here by clicking the level sync up here. That way I'll get experience for knocking these guys around a little bit. But if you watch the global animation sweep, it's so long. It's like click A, wait, 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 shift A, wait, 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 D. I'm waiting so long in between attacks. It's insane, you know? I don't remember what this one does. Interject. Fate failed. So I guess I shouldn't have tried to kill that guy because it just was taking way too long to kill him. Yeah, it's like the global cooldown is so long. You'll like swing, wait, wait, swing, and I don't even know if there's like an auto attack here. Like, if I go up and don't do anything, let's see if she attacks. Okay, so there is an auto attack, right? Like I'm not doing anything; she's just auto attacking. Now, if I click A, look how long before I can click the next ability. I mean, that's like quite a while. So here I click A, wait, 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 shift A, wait, 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 wait. It's like I think it's 1.5 seconds. You know, that's a long global cooldown. God, it's been so long since I played this game. Where's just sound? Where's the sound at? I like the rain, but it's so loud I couldn't really even hear the music. See if I can get over here. We want to get around. What's the levels? Yeah, we want to get around to the left here. I'm a Final Fantasy noob, so you guys feel free to make fun of me at any moment because I know very little about this game, but I do enjoy it. I think the story's really good. If you follow the story quests, they're actually really it's one of the best games story wise, I think. And the architecture of the buildings also is really kind of unique and interesting. So if you see the building up here, look at the architecture. It's very unique. You don't see too many games that have this kind of interesting wooden structures. I don't even know what all these buildings are. No idea. I know I want to go up. And here it is. There's a way. Oh, maybe? No, that doesn't look like a way to go up. Wait, no, it is. Look. Check this out. All right, I'll see you, Justin. Yeah, I'll probably play some Burning Crusade maybe, or some of the pre-patch tomorrow maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided. It just depends. Every time I go in and play, I just immediately kind of get turned off because of the way people have kind of ruined the game. So, I mean, I feel it's just interesting that there's some people that really still love WoW. I mean, tons of people. So, here's some higher level mobs. So. Oh, I leveled up. Wow. I leveled up. Woohoo! Rock and roll. Yeah, I can't take out that many that are my level. It's too difficult. Run away! Let me in! Why aren't you letting me in? What? Oh, wait. It remains closed until further notice. What? Yeah, I guess we'll travel there. There is fast travel in this game. Yeah, one of the things I dislike about Final Fantasy is just the maps are really kind of awful. Moving around the maps and stuff are, like I said, they're very funneled. They're not open world. It doesn't feel like an open world game at all. It feels like you're always just being funneled through different zones. See, and these little dots always indicate a zone, like a zone. You're zoning from one zone to another, and they're all over the place. So I'm going to try to move over to this west. There's a lot of quests in this town here. A bunch. I don't know if I've ever been to this town before. It doesn't look familiar to me. I'd like you to live a farmer's life for a day. Okay, what do I have to do? Old Fox of the orchards to the north has quite a harvest on his hands this year, and knowing him, he'd be much obliged for your helping hand. Alright. We're going to be a farmer for a day, I guess. Cover family heirloom. Okay. Claim the village from band of outlaws. The Red Belly Horsons moved in when the villagers fled, and they've had their run of the place ever since. It is our hope to win the village back, but the Red Bellies are no common outlaws. We read our every move. That's where you come in. What say you? Enter the wasp nest and take the sting out of those bastards. Okay. Let's see, we've got some of these quests over here. Trying to see if there's actually a way to get out of here. Yeah, hey, what's up, Mega Dave? Yeah, totally. It's so instant, and it's a big turnoff for me because I don't like that at all. I really dislike, instant stuff. Looks like maybe you can climb here. I don't really know. Doesn't look like we can get through here. Maybe no. All enclosed. It looks like it is. I think there might be a doorway over here. Yeah. So we're gonna head this way. Then what's true? Yeah, it is very. Yeah, it doesn't feel open world, yeah. Speak with Fox at the orchards, okay. We're grabbing some apples. Ah! Yeah, I would say the the fact that it feels very instant, and the fact that the combat's very slow. Really hurts it, I can't see the stuff you type on your main account? What's up, Ethan? I don't know. No, I couldn't see it. Yeah, I mean, if you look here in the chat, the only person who's been showing up is Jocelyn, Appleby, and Mega Dave here, and then you just finally showed up here, Ethan. Sorry. Sometimes YouTube's weird. Sometimes certain people will come on here and say that that they've been talking, but I haven't seen it. The world building? Um, I mean, yeah, I think part of the appeal is definitely the history. I don't know what you mean by world building, other than just you mean story building, or because there's not. What do you mean by world building? Yeah. Well, I like. I mean, I like the art style though. I think the art style is pretty good. The quests in this game are actually so much better. Like when you read the quests in Final Fantasy, they're good quests. Like this one says, "Do you want to be a farmer for a day and help the farmer?" And you know, they're I like the quests, and it's rare for me to say I like quests in any game, but in Final Fantasy, the quests are actually very well done. What's GP? What's GP plus 2%? I don't know what that is. We got piety and gathering. Let's just I don't know. We'll take this one, I guess. Yeah, I think so. I mean, to me, the appeal of WoW was just it was just well done. The stories were good. The quests were in the beginning and classic were, it was a little bit awkward, because there were a lot of issues, but the game was like paced pretty well. It wasn't like you didn't level really fast, but you didn't level too slow. You're just it just was fun. Like it was one of the first MMOs where the combat, like the movement of the character was so smooth. The combat felt really good, It just felt good. And I think a lot of it is just being able to see the combat. You've never got a character to max level in WoW? I've gotten so many to max level. Oh, I played WoW for so long. Oh, let's see. He stunned me. Cannot execute the stun. Well, 76 is supposed to be good. Yeah, it's not really my type of game. I've never played it. I mean, it might be good. I mean, it's one of those things that if you think it might be something you'd like, you just have to really go in there and try it. But it's probably not something I would like. I'm just looking forward to. There's quite a few games out there. I mean, like I said, there's Sword of Legends Online. I'm going to be playing. I don't think it'll be great or anything, but I think it'll be more interesting to me than playing WoW just because it's something new. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't like. That's one thing about Alien is it was just there's so much RNG in that game, like a ton of RNG. The good thing about Swords of Legends Online is there's no RNG at all. So if you don't like RNG, Swords of Legends is pretty cool. Crap, we got 2 of them. Why can I not select this guy? I have a hard time selecting this guy for some reason. I think I'm gonna have to either. I don't really want to. Is this healing? I can't remember. Yeah. I'm gonna take a healing potion here. Ah, stunned. He healed. And they're rezzing. They're like respawning. No. Aha! I swear to you, the next time I see a red belly, And the next time a red belly sees this axe, it'll be buried in his good-for-naught skull. The one thing about this game that is good is look at all the people. This game is always just full of so many people. You know? Yeah, it's how much they can milk the form. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, they just want to make money. Oh yeah, but that's good. I mean, they're planning ahead for expansions. That's a good thing, Ethan. That's actually a good thing. I don't really know what she wants me to do for this quest, but okay. Some sort of culinary emergency. Yeah, this is a combat quest. Stop some poachers. I guess this one. Oh, you said, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think Pantheon has a good chance to become to be something good. So we'll see. It's really we don't really know yet. I hope that the alpha comes out soon because I have access to the alpha. So, you damn poacher! Don't poach on my property. Oh, see you. I've gotten so used to the camera angle offset that it bugs me now when it's not offset. There doesn't seem to be like a camera setting. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh boy, we got a fate. And level sync. Oh, his pet's attacking. So your pet's actually attack for you? I didn't know your pet's attacked. He's like an archer shooting arrows. Cool. He's got these crazy stuff. I don't know. Can you wave him? Oh, look, you can. Check that out. That was pretty cool. Good emote. see if we can make through this bottle together. Ooh, so I get some slightly upgraded gloves. And a lot of experience. Now, main storyline. Something must have given them cause to venture this far. I've marked the tract where they were sighted on your map. Go see if there's anything to be seen. Okay. Would have you slay some fearsome beasts in her stead. Boy, I got a lot of stuff in my inventory. What is there to say anymore? Do you think the guys who keep their characters vanilla instead of going TBC will make it sort of like, I guess, you know, I mean, if they do keep their characters in vanilla, I guess they'll just keep doing the vanilla content. There are certain people that really like vanilla WoW, so I can see that some people will stay. But it's those people that really just love the original vanilla WoW. I'd be surprised though if a lot of people, if that was like a lot of people. I don't think private servers ruined the game. I mean, I think it is kind of funny that private servers, in my opinion, were probably more fun than classic, to some degree, because there wasn't as many people trying to exploit it. You know. And I wish the beeping sound would stop. Able to attack Fate target. I thought I level synced. Okay, that's the problem. Thought I was level synced. Yeah, the Sweet Judgment set. Yeah, that is a cool set. I just hope that that more MMOs create set gear, because set gear is always fun. Gives you something to strive for. You get like you know, you have to get each item to get those additional bonuses. It just makes it fun when you kind of have something like that, to kind of like a set. You know, it has to be meaningful. You know, getting items that are meaningful, that take time to do. You know, the more difficult it is to acquire things, the more you feel good about acquiring them. You know, you feel proud about what you've accomplished, and that's really missing from a lot of MMOs. You know. Let's see. Oh, oh, hello. Yeah, Ravage X is pretty cool. I still need to grab these guys. Back this way. There's a dungeon here. I wonder what that is. I don't even know if I've ever done a dungeon in this game. I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever done a dungeon in Final Fantasy. I want to see what this dungeon's all about. What is this dungeon? I want to do a dungeon. I don't know what this is all about. I don't know. So that was not really, that was just that training crap that you have to go through, which I've already done. I guess that's not really a dungeon. I don't know Final Fantasy. I'm a noob at Final Fantasy. Oh my god. Something I want to talk to you about. You know, I said when I have a trader, I met someone is eating the garlands. Well, I'm thinking I may have identified our trader. In soups. Plant. Wiz working for the Empire. None of us is safe. The name of Laurentius. South Shroud. Gotta find him in South Shroud. Well, yeah, I mean, there's, you know, I mean, if you look at like MMOs, and I've talked about it before, I'm not a big fan of the gear grind. I mean, I think gear is one way to progress a character, but there should be a lot of other ways. And if you really take Dungeons and Dragons as an example, right? If you look at D&D as an example, like if you have a good dungeon master when you play Dungeons and Dragons, you're not going to get gear very quickly. Like you may run through an entire, campaign or entire gaming session, Dungeons and Dragons session with your dungeon master where you play for, 6 or 8 hours, right? You don't really get anything from that. You complete some of the, you might get something, but most likely you're just going to get some money. Maybe you'll get, some upgraded gear or something, but you're not usually going to find any kind of like powerful magic items or anything like that. So it's, gear in MMOs is often and almost too often handed out too easily, and it just makes people not value what they're getting. I mean, I would like to see it if I created my own MMO, which is something I've always wanted to do, but obviously, I'm a programmer, I'm a software developer myself, but to create an MMO, you need a lot of people and you need a lot of experience. And I would say if you had 20 people maybe, and you had some people in each area that were just really good, who had experience, someone that really really talented texture artist, really talented character model, really talented animator, and a really talented level designer, programmer, and all those things, you could put together an MMO, but it just takes so long. But anyways, if I was making my own MMO, I would not have characters get really much magical items at all. You would really value going from like a rusty sword to just a well-made steel, or iron sword that was made by a high-quality blacksmith that you had to pay money to make for you, and then perhaps you learned how later down the road to maybe do things to that to make it better, keep it sharp, take care of your weapons. Maybe maybe your weapons get dull and you have to resharpen them. Maybe your leather handle wears out and you got to rewrap it. I mean, just there's lots of things you can do to to make the game interesting that has nothing to do with getting an item that's really powerful magic wise, like stat wise. I don't think I've ever played Gothic, so But most MMOs just give gear out too easily and too quickly. You know, you just don't really value. There's no challenge to it. You know. More quests. There's so many quests. And it's daytime now. Mm. Mm-hmm. Pink Laurentius yet again. Well, there's a lot of different ways you can make an MMO really enjoyable that has nothing to do with gear. I mean, there's other ways you can progress a character, and the problem is people are so used to this same formula, and they just keep trying to follow the same formula. You know, I could create an MMO that would blow people's minds as far as like it would be so radically different, but it would still be really fun. And it's not that difficult. It's just that people don't want to. You know, people that are making these games put so much money into the game to make it. They don't want to break too far away from the tried and true formula because they know that that'll at least work to some degree. They'll at least be able to make their money back, maybe, or you know what I mean. They're afraid to do something really radical. No, it wasn't. It was not. It's over then. I sold maps and rations to the Empire. It was I. I meant no harm. I only wanted the coin. The whalers are good, strong. I was proud to join the ranks. Am proud, but they do not provide. They preach justice, honor, duty, but in the end, it is those with money who do as they will, who live as they will. He just called me a Makote bitch. Man, that was not very nice. Mm-hmm. So that's the way of it. Swapped your hard bunk at the barracks for a feather bed in the Garland Mall, did ya? Spit. Ooh. You there, Makote. You stand here at old Busk's wish, no? Then you don't stand alone. Alright, let's do it. Let's dance, you and I. Duty complete. Impossible. How did you best the Empire's finest? And with bandits and poachers at your side, they are your sworn enemies. Why do they fight with you and not against you? But the answer. But I know the answer only too well. Buscaran. This is his doing. His words are wont to inspire men to act better men than I. Gods, what have I become? What have I done? No more lies, no more bribes. I will go to the Order of the Twin Adder and confess my crimes. Here's something I would like you to tell Buscaran. Tell him Laurentis, the fool, says thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, alright. Your level is no longer synced. But people reach the end of aggression. They have their magic swords and self-wrapping handles and potions born from Murphy. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Blizzard knew all that. Blizzard, for as long as they've made World of Warcraft, it's amazing how little Blizzard knows about their own game, about their own community. Like they so misjudged the WoW community so poorly, saying that you think you do, you don't. Then Classic WoW came out. They obviously didn't think it was going to be the success that it was, and they just don't understand their player base. Look at this thing. Holy crap. I guess I'm supposed to use some sort of egg soup on these guys. It probably would have made that fight a lot easier. Oh well. I guess I completed it the hard way. Look at those cool little columns down there. Kinda neat. Yeah, I think you are giving them too much credit, man. I don't know if I can I not climb down in here? Doesn't look like it. one more we can't seem to find. Where is the last? Ooh, cotton dress shoes. So what am I wearing? I don't have any boots on. Okay. Kind of weird. Oh, so now I don't have leggings on. That's why. I always do this. I always do this. This is the recommended gear. Hmm. What he's done ain't easy to forgive, but I'd like to think he'd be. Yeah. Hmm. The advantage dungeon is called 1,000 Miles of Total Rock here on the South Shroud. Was where the interest of the place of FFXIV was seen in not long ago. If you hurry, I reckon you'll find him. Elder One went into Toko Rock, but has not returned. Hmm. Understood. Shade, due to the 1,000 miles of Tokaraga Sea, that FFXIV comes to no harm. Peace between man and self rests upon your success. Looks like the stream went down, guys. Take a look. Oh, it still says it's up, but on my end it says it's struggling. Weird. Stream's acting weird. Anyways, I'm probably gonna stop the stream now anyway, because I'm gonna take a break. What time is it anyway? It is 10:30. Yeah, I mean, it's, Final Fantasy is a good MMO, but it's, it's not it's not very open world, but it's definitely a good MMO. It's amazing to me that so many people play it. So that's why I keep playing, because I think there's got to be a lot more to the game than what I've seen. Because what I've seen is just pretty, pretty basic questing. So, anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Hope everybody's having a good night tonight. And again, look for me to be streaming this Friday. We're going to be streaming Swords of Legends Online. And whether or not I do much with Burning Crusade and pre-patch and all that, I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure I'll play Burning Crusade at some point, but I don't think I'm going to be playing it a lot.